Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be doing a trailer breakdown for the first teaser trailer for Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. Now, this is just to clarify a couple of things before we jump into this, because I've seen a lot of people complaining about certain things involving this movie, like, oh, he doesn't look like Snake Eyes, or oh, there's certain things that are out of place here. This is, or people that are associating it with the other films that came out years and years ago now. Um, Basically, this appears to be, anyway, a soft reboot of the franchise that doesn't have anything to do with G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra or G.I. Joe: Retaliation. So it looks like this is kind of its own thing. They have different actors playing Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, and also some of the other characters that really didn't get brought back. Other characters like characters from Rise of Cobra, like Scarlet, or and a few other ones too that are mixed in there for GI Joes. Now, again, because this is supposed to be a prequel, Snake Eyes did not get injured and lose his vocal power or his ability to speak until he was already with the GI Joes. So this was well after the ninja training and all that stuff. So when we look at this version of the character, this is before that's supposed to have happened chronologically if they choose to go that route. Now, I kind of understand the idea of you don't want to have your main protagonist under a mask and not talking the entire time, because you might as well just hire a stunt person to do it and you won't have to pay them that much money. Um, so I understand why he has to be front and center. I understand why they show his face. I understand why he's not disfigured and why he can talk. It's really not that big of a jump to kind of draw the lines there. And then I assume what will wind up happening is when they do another G.I. Joe film, which I presume this is going to be leading into if it's successful, they'll probably do an opening scene or something like that where he has the situation where it scars him, or it's at the very end of this film. We don't know that as of yet. But like I said, this is a teaser. It's only about a minute long, but I'm going to go into this. And the beginning of it, we have this very kind of choppily edited action sequence where I don't know exactly why they're cutting certain things out. I don't know if this movie is supposed to be rated R. I don't think it is. But if it is, that could also be it, because this was a regular green band trailer, not a red band trailer, so they couldn't show a bunch of the violence if it is there. But I presume they would try to aim this at PG-13 if they can. Now, the cuts are kind of weird because they cut every time it looks like a sword is about to slice somebody. Because the whole thing is it's supposed to be this chase down a highway where you have this car carrier, and they're fighting on top of that, and they're fighting on top of a couple of these other vehicles, and there's a chick doing parkour off of a motorcycle and jumping off of like a semi to get on top of something. So I mean, there's a lot going on in the action scene. It's not a bad action scene. It's something that we've kind of seen before. It's not really anything too outstanding, but okay, if you're gonna open with that, that's all right. The point is that you got to kind of make up for that with a lot of the good sword play. But then after we go through that, we start hearing the music, and I hate the music for this. Just have an orchestral, or have something else, or have a bit from the actual soundtrack. And God, if this is on the actual soundtrack, I don't really like the whole. It doesn't fit very well with what I'm seeing. That's more the tone and the tempo of the music should fit the tone and the tempo of the trailer. The tone and the tempo of the trailer does not fit this music at all. This feels very, very bad. And I don't exactly know who to pin that on, whether that's the advertising department or whether that is the director, who I would presume okayed the trailer before its release. Now, as for our Snake Eyes, I don't mind him. It looks like he has a fairly good affinity for action. He definitely has the body type and the form down. They did change him a little bit, because I think in the comics, I don't think he was. I think he was white. I don't think he was. He was Asian or a mix. And this actor appears to be a mix of white and Asian or something along those lines. So they did change the ethnicity a little bit, but again, after this movie, the guy's probably going to be under a mask like 90% of the time, so I don't really care all that much about it. It's more, can he pull off the action scenes, and can he pull off the fighting? We also see the actor who's playing Storm Shadow in this. and it appears that they kind of have some form of a relationship in the movie, although they don't really specify exactly what that is in the trailer. They do specify it, however, in some of the extra material, but just based on the trailer, they don't really go into why those two have some kind of a relationship, whether they're related or something like that. So there is that's up in the air, but through the extra media, you basically learn that Storm Shadow is the one that introduces him to the Ashikage ninja clan, and that's where he gets his ninja training and stuff like that in his suit. We do get to see the suit, or at least the mask, and the sword at some point during the trailer. They pop up a couple of different times. We also see what looks like Snake Eyes kind of having his either very intense training or doing some sort of a rite of passage type of thing. Where it looks like he's in this kind of like dungeon area and he's getting ready and they open this gate and he's supposed to he gets into like a fighting stance and stuff. We don't really know what that's about. Again, it's only a minute trailer. They don't really reveal a whole lot of story stuff. There is a good amount of swordplay in the trailer, which I do like. I think you should have that with Snake Eyes. There is also some gunplay. You also do get to see Baroness and Scarlet in the trailer, the two actors that play them, although very briefly. It does appear that they have some kind of a confrontation. But that's the other thing, too, is that they do try to adapt the idea of mixing swords and guns. And it does work when you do it correctly. And it appears they're doing it in somewhat of the right way, although it's one of those things where if it can get very stupid. Like the idea, like, oh, why is he sword fighting like 7 dudes when he has a machine gun taped to his ass? That's kind of the idea that everybody goes into. The Indiana Jones argument is like, oh, I'm supposed to do this really big sword fight. It's like, I have a revolver on my side. Why don't I just fucking shoot him? That's kind of the thing. Although I think in previous films, Snake Eyes has proven that he has enough of a reaction time where he can actually predict and block bullets with that sword. But again, since this is a reboot or a soft reboot or something along those lines, I don't exactly know what what the extent of his abilities are actually going to be, if they're going to try and ground it a little bit more, or if it's going to be that fantastical thing. It honestly looks like the fantastical side. It looks like the epic ninja, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So, as far as that goes, it's like, all right, the combat is good. I don't mind the acting, and I understand it's an origin story, so I understand why certain things aren't the way they should be. Now, if you go to the end of this movie and things are still not the way they should be, or not at least leading into that, then you're probably going to have some problems going into the next film if there is one, which I assume they might do a couple more origin films if they have enough material for it, and then go into a G.I. Joe film proper, or they could just go into a G.I. Joe film straight from this. I could see that happening as well, but I'm going to put, as usual, I'm going to put the link to the trailer in the description, and I really want to know what you guys think. Are you excited for this? Do you like the older movies? Do you think that this movie looks relatively good? Do you enjoy the action and stuff in the trailer? And are you anticipating this? Do you want to see this film? Or is this kind of just like, oh, God, just stop making G.I. Joe movies, please? Put your thoughts in the comments below, as usual. I like to read them. Hit the bell for notifications. Hit the like button. Subscribe. And remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?